Welcome to the second Saturday segment of Gardening with Farmer John. This is my garden. This is squash, the first row here, the first plants you see. And the next plants are my tomatoes. The first one is kind of coming along slow. I guess it's not getting as much sunlight as the others. But that one is almost to the top of the tomato cage. And that one is really looking healthy. This morning, I took time and I spreaded a lot of gardening soil in with the soil that was already here. So that's what you see throughout my garden. I have bell pepper plants here that's doing quite well. I'm impressed with them. That's the first one, the second one, and the third bell pepper plant, which is sprouting out pretty nicely. This is my Silver Queen corn. Something is trying to eat at the leaves of the corn, but the plant is pretty much healthy and it is growing pretty good. There is a row of okra. It is coming along pretty good. And my squash, which I'm very impressed with. My yellow squash are blooming, and you can see there a squash in there on it already, and some more blooms that's coming down in there, and they're looking pretty good right now. Another row of okra and another row of corn, and lastly a row of okra. And it's all looking pretty good. I have a big boy tomato here, and it's blooming a couple of places and branching out, and the leaves look pretty healthy on it, so I think it's gonna do well. There is a pineapple that I have that's growing, and two more squash plants that I have with blooms that's coming in that's doing pretty good. More squash plants that I dug around this morning. And they seem to be doing quite well. So now we're headed over to my lettuce bed. This is actually my first time planting iceberg lettuce from seeds, but it was touch and go for a minute, but now it seems they're catching on and gathering strength a little more. So it's making it look like they're actually gonna produce nice heads of lettuce. So I'm anxious to see how it's going to turn out. Right inside here is my okra. And I've put down about 21 bags of soil. I purchased 21 bags of soil today to put into my garden, which is Miracle-Gro gardening soil. And my okra in here is looking pretty good. All of it is standing up, and it's really green. Here in this area is my black-eyed peas. And I have 5 rows of peas here. And they are growing at a really fast rate. The leaves look really dark and green and healthy. That is a row of squash. Actually, it's a row of okra in there. You can see a couple of the plants. They're kind of struggling right now, but I think they're gonna grow up and be some really good producers for me. Here we have some corn that's looking really good in there, and a couple of rows of okra over behind the corn. So I'm excited to see how much this is going to yield for me. Now, my last space is my space where my greens are. This is my collard greens that I need to crop, and I have some mustards and turnips that you see with the yellow flowers. They're going to seed, but I'm going to probably pull all of my turnips up shortly and gather the seeds, and I'll probably spread it out for my collards to have more room to grow. This is a broadleaf mustard, and you see how huge the leaves grow. From one point to the other, I would estimate about 4.5, almost 5 feet, those two leaves. This is my collard green patch. I need to crop them, and these are my mustards. Some of them are standing up, and some of them are laying down because of the humidity, but normally at this time of the evening they'll start to stand up, and the leaves on them. So there we are. There's my carrots in there. So there's a few turnips in there. It's trying to grow up. Maybe I might be able to transplant some of them, and those are my greens. Just need to crop them and kind of space them out a little bit more. So that concludes this segment of Gardening with Farmer John. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.